This is a Willets Point Shea Stadium bound 7 express train. The next and last stop is Willets Point, Shea Stadium.
Ron Darling said
Mhm.
he doesn't feel that. Let me see how he put it. He goes, Juan Soto is a great hitter. I've seen him and Aaron Judge had a great season, but one player doesn't make it. I don't know. Maybe you get two $300 million players. And then he goes, the Mets proved this season that they have a lot there, and adding to that nice mix is going to be fun. I wouldn't judge it by that. If you don't get Soto, then you have no chance to win. So I got a lot of conversation on this. If people agreed on Twitter, spent all day talking about this with a lot of people on Twitter yesterday about do they agree with Ron Darling? And it was a lot of change. A lot of people think that maybe don't go after Soto and maybe get two $300 million players, or get a whole amount of players that are up to $300 million, or whatever the price tag is for a guy like Juan Soto. But Juan Soto is just a different talent like that to me. And I don't know how you feel about that. I know, like, obviously the Mets can figure out a way if they don't get Juan Soto, but to me, you have to go after Juan Soto.
Do I think it's doom and gloom if the Mets don't get Juan Soto? No, I don't. Do I think you go after Juan Soto? Absolutely. And for the reasons you said, he is a generational talent. He is a top 3 player. You maybe you want to say Judge, Ohtani, Judge, Soto, he's right there. He is right there. He is that kind of guy. He's shown you he can play. He's shown you with the Nats. He's shown you with the Yankees. He's a playoff performer. This guy's not scared of the big moment. I don't think he's going to be scared of the contract when he gets it. Now, look, and here's the other thing I'll keep saying. He's 25 years old. He's a player in his prime. This is the kind of player you go and break the bank for. Sure, you're probably going to give him a 10-year deal. He's going to have multiple opt-outs in it, which I'm completely fine with. A private opt-out after 3 years, maybe another one after 6. You do that in a heartbeat. You worry about that later. When's the last time? I feel like I'm saying this a lot in this episode. When's the last time, Anthony, the Mets had a legitimate chance to sign a generational talent? Right?
Yep.
And look, it's not my money. I'm not spending it. It's Steve Cohen's money, and how he chooses to divvy up or start. They're going to have to make that decision. Here's what I'll say. I trust David Stearns and Steve Cohen to make the right decision. But the fact, to your point, that they went after Yamamoto, a pitcher in his prime, coming over to the major leagues for the first time, who had his adjustments this season, but pitched a beautiful game in the World Series against the Yankees. The fact they were doing that tells you what they value. Players in their prime. I don't think the Mets are giving anybody who's 28, 29 a long-term deal. But you're 25? Yeah, we'll do that. We might break the bank for you. We'll do that. We'll back up the Brinks truck for you, Mr. Juan Soto. We'll do that. Because when's the chance you're going to get a Juan Soto without having to give up any assets? That's the key thing, too, right? There's a cost for everything.
Yeah.
The Yankees now, there's pressure on them to bring him back because they gave up assets to get him. The Mets don't have that. You can add this guy in. You're still developing your farm system. You can bring in another couple of pitchers with that. Maybe that's your offseason. But if you truly believe in your system, if you truly believe in your culture, if you truly believe in what's coming down the road in the pipeline with this Mets farm system, the $600 million or whatever you pay him is going to be worth it himself. It's going to be worth it. So if the Mets were... Look, if the Mets were sitting out, let's just be real about this. If the Mets somehow said, we're not going to go after Juan Soto, you know what all the fans would be saying out here? Well, this feels like the Wilpons again. That's what they'd be saying. That's exactly what they'd be saying. And nobody wants that feeling again, right? No. This is the hope that Steve Cohen gives you, but I think it's not just about Steve Cohen having a big bag of money and giving somebody the bag. I think him and David Stearns have an actual plan. I think they know when they're going to break the bank. I think, like you said, Anthony, they know what kind of player they're going to spend that money on. Juan Soto's that kind of player, guys. You got to offer him the bag. If he says no, like Yamamoto did, cool, but there's no shame in that. You can't ever look at Stearns and Cohen and say they didn't try to go get generational talent here. They didn't try to win. One last thing I'll add. Sorry for the long response, but one last thing I'll add is one of the things I think is important in sports. from ownership and front offices is you want to see that they want it. How bad do you want to win? You know that the Mets fans want to win bad. They've been waiting since '86. And I believe when you listen to Steve Cohen talk, and we know he grew up a Mets fan, this is his team's childhood team, I think he really wants to win. And if you really want to win, you got to go out and get the best talent. And he's going to go, I think he's going to try to do that. Will he always succeed? Maybe not. But I think the man is going to try.
Yeah, he's definitely going to try, especially with Juan Soto. And, you can look at future off seasons and there's not a talent that's going to be as talented as this guy with the money that's being requested. So you definitely have to give this the biggest opportunity for the Mets here and try your best to get it done and figure out a way, kind of like what the Dodgers do with Ohtani. Now, I know that's not going to be the same type of contract, all the deferred stuff like that.
Right.
Got to figure out some type of way to convince Juan Soto to want to come here. And you've already seen the culture. You see that they're starting to become a winning team. They have kids in development right now, and they are closer, I think, than ever right now to being a team that could possibly make it to the World Series. So the Mets will do their best, and I think that something will get done.